everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, Starseed Astrologer and Spiritual Messenger from SacredSoulEmpowerment.com. Here to do your monthly angel card reading for September 2018. For this month's monthly reading, we're going to be using the Angel Tarot deck for the main message for everyone, and your special message card, depending on your stone of choice this month, will be coming from the Magical Mermaids and Dolphins deck. So, before we get into the energy of the month, let's take a look at your stones of choice. Now, I want you to go with your intuition this month. I'm going to try not to tell you too much about all of the stones, because your angels and guides want you to start using your own inner psychic senses. So the first stone of choice is selenite. And this is a beautiful kind of milky white. You can see the sheen in it. It's a beautiful colored stone. This is almost considered a selenite wand. And I will tell you that it does help you to get in touch with your angel messages. Your second stone of choice is an ametrine egg. And I don't know if you can tell in this light, but the ametrine egg, it's actually a little bit of purple, well, a lot of bit of purple, and a little bit of gold or yellow within the purple. Ametrine is a combination of amethyst and citrine. So if you think about what those stones are all about, we have amethyst as the claircognizance stone, opening up to higher guidance and wisdom. And the citrine is your center, it's that yellow color of the solar plexus chakra, which activates your sense of willpower. And then your last stone of choice is a beautiful labradorite. As I say that, I'm realizing that I am telling you a little bit about the stones, but I do want you to go with your intuition, because you might like a particular stone in general, but maybe for the month's reading you're being drawn to one over another that maybe is not typical for you. Now, the labradorite is a gray stone, and you can see I'm trying to kind of shine it back and forth because it's got this beautiful bluish tint to it that reflects the light. Now, sometimes it has a greenish tint, but this particular one has a blue. So that gray color is very grounding. It's a very focused and grounded color, but the blue tint kind of brings in the ear chakra color, the third eye chakra, even the throat chakra. So we're talking about divine messages, clairvoyance, clairaudience, channeling, clear communication. Here I go, describing the stone. And it actually helps you to get in touch with your otherworldly guides, if you will. So I feel like I should tell you a little bit more about the selenite, but the selenite was the first choice. Also helps you to get in touch with past lives, future lives, as well as the angelic realm. Then we have the ametrine, abundance, prosperity, divine wisdom and knowledge, along with what I said. And then the labradorite. Okay, beautiful, beautiful stone. All right, so while you think about that, let's talk a little bit about the energy of the month of September. So the numerology vibration for the month of September is actually the number 20. We take 2018, which is a universal 11 year, and we add it to the month of September, the 9th month of the year, to get the number 20. 11 plus 9 is 20. Now, the 20 is not a karmic number, it's not a master number, but we will look at that number 20 here in a moment. Let's go ahead and reduce it down to a single digit. 2 plus 0 is the number 2. So the number 2 numerologically suggests that September is going to be a month where we have to retain a sense of balance. The number 2 is about balance and harmony. So we're talking about physical balance, emotional balance, mental balance, spiritual balance. The number 2 is about peacemaking, keeping the peace. It's about moving forward on our path, but in that moving forward on our path, it feels like we need to have a little bit of patience as we're moving forward, because if you think about a straight line rather than hills, which give you kind of momentum when you go up and down hills, the number 2 in kind of walking this path, walking kind of a straight balanced line, so to speak, doesn't really have a lot of momentum behind it. So we are moving forward, but we have to have patience in that moving forward, because we might not feel that we're moving fast enough or that events in our lives are unfolding quick enough. The number 2 is also about relationships. Okay, rather than one person, we have 2 people. So this is about all one-on-one interpersonal relationships. This can be about family relationships, soulmate relationships of a romantic nature, co-worker relationships, just all kinds of one-on-one types of interactions. And the purpose is to realize that there's a sense of equality, or to at least aspire towards a sense of balance and equality in those relationships. So are we giving as much as we're receiving? Are we receiving as much as we're giving? So there has to be a sense of equality, and we can even say justice about these relationships. Now the number 20, let's talk about that, because the 20th major arcana in the traditional tarot deck is called Judgment. Now in the Sirian Starseed Tarot, which is the tarot deck I often like to use when I'm doing the monthly reading as far as showing you the card that the particular month relates to, Major Arcana number 20 in this deck is called Karma. Now if you think about the Judgment card, it's the second to the last of the Major Arcana, because we have 21 Major Arcana cards. So as we get to number 20, formally Judgment in this deck, Karma in a couple of the other angel decks, it's called Renewal. This is about getting to the end of the soul's cycle of evolution and growth. Now we're never at the end of our evolution and growth. We just kind of start over, once again on a new path, so to speak. But as we're at Major Arcana number 20, right before that 21st and last Major Arcana, this means we're getting to the end of something. We're getting to the end. And in relation to karma, we're getting to the end of some sort of karmic pattern, karmic belief system, karmic situation, karmic relationship. And what this card is suggesting is to do a review, and this is the typical meaning of the Judgment card, to do a review of the past and realize where you're at in that cycle. Have you learned the lessons appropriately? Have you gained the knowledge and the wisdom that's needed to move forward to the end of this cycle, to then the beginning of another cycle? Okay? So, I like this card because, to me, and I don't know if this was meant to be or not, but this water here, and right in the center of the water, it almost looks like a heart to me. It looks like a heart there in the middle of the ocean. And the water is symbolic of our emotions and our feelings. And so this to me is symbolic of our emotional bodies. And the karma, if you will, or the karmic patterns, the subconscious that deals with the past and healing the past. Again, the Judgment card isn't about judging yourself or judging others, but it's about, rather than judging, it's about reviewing. Again, talking about reviewing the past in an effort to realize or understand if we've gained the insights that we've needed to. Have we gained the insights that is necessary for our soul's growth and evolution to take the next step forward into, again, this new beginning, which, again, we're getting near the end of this year. And next month will be a 21 kind of energy vibration. We'll talk more about that next month. But here we want to take a really in-depth, spiritual, contemplative sort of look into how far we've come. And not just how far we've come this year, although that might be part of it, but how far have we come over the last few years? How far has our soul come in the evolution and growth of what we came here to understand about ourselves and about our life? Because that's really what it's all about, is our life, our growth, our evolution. So this is going to be interesting as I talk about some of the astrology of the month. So I might refer back to this card. But know that, again, there's some karmic patterns or karmic belief systems or karmic situations that are coming to an end. And I feel like this is related in some way to those eclipses that we had in July and August. Solar eclipse and a lunar eclipse in July, and then we had a final solar eclipse on August 11th. So, you know, those eclipses initiated an energy that is still affecting us and will continue to affect us over the next few weeks and even the next few months until the next set of eclipses, which will start in January of 2019. So it's kind of regurgitating, if you will, and bringing up old past energies, if you want to call it past karma, so that it can be totally and finally resolved before we're able to move forward. But again, if you look at the lotus here at the top of the card, the lotus is up there in the sky, and it's a very spiritual symbol of the soul unfolding, right? If we think of a lotus, it's the petals are unfolding and opening up, and this is part of the symbology of our soul unfolding and opening up to the higher dimensional energies as we're releasing some of this old emotional karma, if you will. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the fine points of the astrology for the month. So on the 5th of September, we have Mercury, the planet that rules the mental realm. It's about communication, it's about our thoughts and ideas, and Mercury is going to be moving into one of his home signs of Virgo. Now, we already have the Sun in Virgo. Around August 22nd, August 23rd, the Sun moved into Virgo. So we're in Virgo's realm now for about a month. Most of September, the Sun is in Virgo. Now we have Mercury in Virgo. So Virgo is very logical, very analytical. It is an earth sign, so it's more practical and more grounded and paying attention to the earthly details of life. And this is when, you know, kids go back to school and the summer is winding down, and so, you know, we're starting to kind of focus more on work activities or projects, and that's a lot about what this Virgo energy is all about. So with Mercury going into Virgo, it's again about paying attention to the details, communicating with others with clarity, using your powers of discernment, which Virgo is very good for. And Virgo, Mercury will be in Virgo until September 21st, and it does change signs again before the end of the month, but we'll get there as we move along. On the 6th of September, we have a pretty important happening, and that's Saturn, which is considered the teacher of lessons, or a lot of older astrologers call it the Lord of Karma. Saturn rules the patriarchal system. Saturn rules focus, stability, security, but Saturn also rules challenges, limitations, and restrictions. He's going to be turning back to direct motion. So the first few days here of September, we're feeling kind of that heaviness, because Saturn is a pretty kind of heavy planet. It rules the third dimension. It rules our third dimensional reality. So as he's been slowed down to a standstill for the first few days of September, we're feeling, again, a little bit of a heaviness, maybe a little bit of the challenges of life kind of weighing down upon us. We're maybe feeling more physically tired. Again, physical dimension, third dimension, so it rules the physical body in some ways as well. As Saturn turns back to direct motion and starts to gain speed, which is going to take, you know, a few days to a couple of weeks here before it starts moving at a good pace, but it's going to start to project that Saturn quality out into the world rather than internalizing it. So as it's been retrograde, it's been internalizing those Saturn lessons. Now it's going to be putting those Saturn lessons, or what we're here to learn or understand, the structure, the form, the things that we're trying to manifest, it's going to be projected out. So this is good as far as trying to manifest something, right? We're working on the next step of our path. Some of us are working on business thing or projects, or maybe we're even working on developing stronger ties or commitments in our relationships. So Saturn across the board is bringing this idea of security, stability, commitment, and again, that manifestation principle on the positive end, okay? It turns back to direct motion at 2 degrees of Capricorn, by the way. So if you're an early degree Capricorn sun or moon or rising sign, you're strongly going to be feeling this energy. And then we're going to skip ahead to the 9th of September, when Venus, the planet of love, relationships, as well as the ruler of money and finances, our personal resources, Venus is moving out of Libra, which is the sign of relationships and partnerships. So through some of August and here up until the 9th of September, she's been focused on this idea of equality and compromise and peace and, you know, making sure that things are equal in all of her relationships. Now on the 9th of September, she's moving into the sign of Scorpio. And while she's in Scorpio here for the next few weeks, and actually she's going to be in Scorpio for longer than typical, usually Venus will be in a sign, you know, for about a month or so, and she's going to go into a retrograde motion in the sign of Scorpio coming up, not this month, but as we move into October, she's going to turn retrograde in Scorpio. So she's going to spend an extra long time in this sign. Now Scorpio rules death and rebirth, it rules the mysteries of life, it rules transformation, regeneration, transmutation. Scorpio rules sexuality, it rules the idea of passion, having passion in one's life. So this is going to bring up a lot of those things for Venus. Venus, you know, in general, that planet is about beauty and self-worth and relationships with other women typically, and our relationship to the divine feminine energy. One other thing I want to say about Venus and Scorpio is that Scorpio rules other people's money and other people's personal resources. And as I mentioned, Venus herself as a planet does also rule money and finances. So while Venus is in Scorpio, for the next few weeks we're going to have situations, circumstances coming up that is dealing with shared resources with our business partners, our romantic partners, perhaps with family. You know, it deals again with how our finances and our money intermingles with other people's finances and other people's money. So that's going to be highlighted for the next few weeks as well. On also the 9th, we have a new moon, and this new moon is in the sign of Virgo. 17 degrees of Virgo is the new moon. So here we have a new beginning on a more tangible but yet mental level. Again, this is an earth sign, so it deals with the more practical and grounded. It deals with our everyday happenings in life. Virgo is a sign that rules, again, the mental realm, logic, analyzing, to some extent ideas, discerning what's appropriate or what's not. So this new moon, this time of new beginnings, is going to be in that mental realm. So it's going to be a time to give birth to a new way of thinking and understanding ourselves and our lives. And then the very next day after that new moon, on the 10th, Mars moves back into Aquarius. Now Mars was in Aquarius before it went retrograde motion. It went all the way up to 9 degrees of Aquarius. And then it retrograded all the way back to 28 degrees of Capricorn in August, and it's taking until the 10th of September now to now move out of that sign of Capricorn and back into the sign of Aquarius. Now Mars is about forward movement, action, energy. Aquarius is an energy that's a little bit unpredictable. It's up and down. So we're going to find that our physical energy, as Mars moves through Aquarius, is going to be a little bit up and down. We're going to have spurts of energy. This is also a sign that rules humanitarian ideals. It's an air sign, Aquarius, so it rules the mental realm. So we're also going to have spurts of revelations, or spurts of inspiration, or spurts of new ideas and insights that come through with Mars in Aquarius. Mars in Aquarius is very supportive of groups of like-minded people coming together to work on a project or to work for a common goal or towards a common cause of some sort. I feel like this is where we can have some surprise happenings. You want to be a little bit observant of your own as well as others' energy and forward movement, even as you're driving or as you're working with machinery, things like that, because Aquarius does rule technology, and in some ways it does rule things that operate like machinery and things like that. So again, you want to be careful of that unexpected nature of Aquarius. You want to just be aware of what's happening around you with that movement. Then we're going to skip to all the way to the 21st of September. And this is when Mercury switches signs again. Mercury is now moving into the sign of Libra. We're getting very close to Libra's realm. In fact, on the 22nd, the very next day, the Sun moves into Libra. So on the 21st and 22nd, we're shifting out of that Virgo energy and we're moving into the Libra energy. Of course, the Sun will be in Libra for about the next month. And, now we're focused on relationships, partnerships, balance, equality, harmony, keeping the peace. Our relationships are going to definitely take precedence. Again, this is all types of relationships with friends, family, loved ones, romantic partners, business partners, is going to be highlighted. Mercury in Libra, the planet that rules the mental realm, our ideas and communications. Now we're going to be probably having more communications with people in our lives. We're going to have more thoughts regarding the idea of partnership and harmony and perhaps marriage. Libra does rule marriage. So a lot of you may be thinking more about marriage or thinking more about that soulmate partner. Maybe perhaps you're dating, which to me would signify more conversations with potential partnerships. We're really kind of trying to understand what this idea of balance and equality is in partnerships, making sure that what you're giving out, you're also getting back, and that, again, there's a nice sense of equality there in all of your relationships. On the 24th of September, we have a full moon. Now, the full moon is in Aries because the Sun is in Libra. The moon is in the opposite sign of Aries, and this is why it's called a full moon at 2 degrees of Aries on the 24th. So with the full moon is an intensification of energies. Whenever we have a full moon, the moon is waxing, it's growing, it's intensifying. The moon rules our emotions, our feelings, and so people are going to be more emotionally reactive. They are in general during a full moon. With this full moon in the sign of Aries, Aries by itself is a sign that can be very reactive. So people may be especially emotionally reactive at this time, but it's also an initiating sign. It's the first sign of the zodiac, so it's the sign of initiating new beginnings. So this would be a wonderful time with the full moon in Aries to put out your intentions to initiate some sort of new beginning on your path. Even though we're in the month of September and we're getting close to the end of the year, it's never too late to start a new path, or it's never too late to make a new decision or to make a change, especially after the eclipses that we had, because again, those eclipses initiated an energy that are still active throughout the next few weeks and few months in our lives. So this is, a wonderful time to make a huge new beginning, a huge new direction, a huge new change in your lives. On the 26th, so 2 days after the full moon, Chiron, which is considered the wounded healer, he's also known as the shaman, he's moving back into Pisces. Now, Chiron had been in Pisces for a very long time because he moves so very slow, but earlier this year he did for the first time move into the sign of Aries, which brought up our sense of woundedness about ourselves, about our sense of individuality, because that's what Aries rules. But now that Chiron's retrograding back into Pisces, and will be in Pisces for the rest of this year, it's giving us another few months to take a look at what is considered to be the collective karma. To me, Pisces, the sign Pisces, the last sign of the zodiac, kind of is about the collective. It's about the collective energies. It is about the spiritual realm. It is about unconditional love and compassion and selfless service to other people. But Pisces rules the collective energy. And with Chiron being the wounded healer, or where our wounds are, this is again bringing up a collective wound. Now it feels personal as well and can be very personal. So it's bringing up your past life wounds on an individual or personal level. Because Pisces, again ruling the spiritual realm and all dimensions and directions of time and space, is ruling our past lives. And this goes back to this card ruling the month of September, Major Arcana 20. Again, bringing up some of that emotional karma. Here we have Pisces as a water sign. Here we have the ocean, the water, our emotions. So again, we might feel that shift on or around the 26th as an emotional wave, so to speak. Okay? And then on the 30th of September, we have Pluto, planet of death and rebirth, power and control, transformation and change. It's going back to direct motion at 18 degrees of Capricorn. Now, Pluto is also very slow moving like Chiron. It is either retrograde or in direct motion for about 6 months at a time. So we're going to really feel the transitional change when Pluto moves direct right on or around the 30th of this month. So it might bring up some power and control issues, again on the collective level or in our personal lives. It is going to bring a wave of transformation and change. Pluto can rule the subconscious. Pluto can rule things that are hidden. It can rule the shadow side of our, personality. So it's really, we're dealing a lot with healing of the subconscious, of our own sense of disempowerment in situations or relationships, and again with the Chiron as well. It's really bringing up a lot of stuff here at the end of the month. Okay, so let's go ahead, because we're running out of time here as I look at the clock. Let's look at the message from our angels and guides. The first card that I chose in meditation for the month of September is the Three of Air. And the Three of Air says, great sadness, take time to heal, the need to forgive yourself or others. Now, this is typically the Three of Swords in the deck, and it does talk about like healing from some past challenge, some past sadness. It shows a family of unicorns here, so this could be a family system wound that we're healing from, or it could be a family pattern that we've carried with us that we're playing out in our work or career or in our interpersonal relationships. But this is the idea of healing something on the mental realm, healing a mental pattern as we move forward. So take time, especially I want to say the first half of the month. I want to say all month. They're saying not just the first half. Take time this month to really heal from some of the past wounds that you feel like you've been carrying, especially those from the home and family system. Your second card is also an air card, so also a swords card, and it's the Seven of Air, the Seven of Swords. Now both of the Three of Air and the Seven of Air, they can be challenging cards of the mental level. So our thoughts, our belief systems might be feeling a little challenged at this point. The message at the bottom says plans that need revision, more going on than meets the eye, and poor timing. Now I don't feel like it's the poor timing. I feel like this is more about plans that need revision. I feel like we've been working hard this year, 2018, on moving forward with something, moving forward with our plans, our goals, new ideas. And I feel a lot of you have been feeling very frustrated and challenged by the lack of seeming movement towards those goals. This is saying that something needs to be revised, and that's part of the eclipses. The eclipses shook things up in July and August. So now it's a time to kind of review, revise, redo. It sounds like a Mercury retrograde, but it's more of that Virgo energy, looking at the details, using discernment, and revising things that aren't working or that need a little bit of change, that need a little bit of addition, or something of that nature. Now, as we look at the last card, because I don't want to run out of time before your special message cards, we have Major Arcana number 16. This is life experience. In the traditional tarot, it's called the Tower card. This is with Archangel Chamuel, who is the archangel that does rule our life purpose or helps us with our life purpose. The message says a significant life event, a powerful revelation that leads to change, time to spread your wings. So I feel like this is to do with the Pluto and the Chiron energies at the end of the month. There's going to be some significant changes, revelations, redirections that occur for us on an outer level in our environment that will kind of shake things up so that we move in a different direction. It's almost like being forced in a way. I don't really like to say that, but it changes something in our environment. Our job situation, career situation, a relationship situation, a family situation, something changes dramatically to cause us to need to move in a different direction. But ultimately this is good because we're rebuilding something. Remember, Saturn is direct now, so we're rebuilding a new and solid foundation for ourselves as we move forward. So now, before we run out of time, let's choose your special message card. So for those of you that chose the selenite, I'm shuffling here and looking for something that's sticking out to me, and this one here is, wow, for the selenite people, soulmate relationship. New romance with a spiritual basis is here for you now. So some of you have been looking, and as again we transition into Libra later in the month, you're looking for that soulmate relationship. You're putting out your intentions. I feel like you need to do a vision board. You need to write down the qualities that you're seeking in a relationship. You need to go over old patterns or belief systems that you've played out in previous relationships, because this is telling me that your soulmate relationship, and to me it looks like a twin flame kind of soulmate relationship, to where they're really going to be compatible with you, is starting to come in. It's starting to take form. Will they come in this month? Maybe, but it might just be that you're needing to get ready because they're on the way. For those of you that chose the ametrine, let's give this a little shuffle. Okay, ametrine people. Treasure chest, another beautiful card. An unforeseen windfall of new abundance comes to you. This is Venus going into Scorpio. So there's going to be money or blessings or resources coming in from outside of you, from other people, from other groups, you know, from the universe, basically. So open your mind, open your heart, open that treasure chest. Allow yourself to receive. Work on receiving, because in order to get these blessings or get this abundance, you need to be open to receiving what the universe is trying to give you, or what other people might be trying to give you. This is saying that something's unexpected, something's coming your way, and you might not, you know, you might not be looking for it, but there it is, which is a wonderful, wonderful thing. And then for those of you that chose the labradorite people, no, not that one. Spirit says not that one. Okay, this one. This one says make a decision. Feeling stuck or indecisive, listen to your intuition and make a decision. Okay, I think that's part of what happens at the end of the month with the Pluto, with the Chiron, with that last card we had, Major Arcana number 16. You're going to need to make a decision and move in a different way, move in a different direction. So listen to your intuition, really tune in, listen to what feels right, or feel what feels right to you. And don't hesitate or don't second guess. Sometimes Virgo energies like, second guess themselves. And I feel like this is something where you just really need to take a leap of faith and make that decision and move forward. So I want to thank all of you. I send you all lots of love and light and many, many angel blessings. Thank you for watching. Mwah.